it's really blessing, I would say, actually, to be here because we have this group of scientists who are the leaders in the field at our disposal, really, because reflecting back to my PI, he himself is an international scientist, and being in that environment where I feel that I'm not just an outsider, that there are people who are like me, have gone through the same journey as me, has really encouraged me to actually know that I can make it, or I can be the scientist I want to be.
The mission of the Mayo Clinic Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences is to train the next generation of leaders in biomedical sciences and education. We are excited by the potential and challenges ahead of us, and we have diverse tracks from basic science and biochemistry to molecular pharmaceuticals and experimental therapeutics to regenerative science.
I'm originally from San Francisco, California. I was born and raised there, and I lived there until I moved here for Mayo. I wanted to pursue my PhD program, and Mayo Clinic actually offered the program that I wanted, which was actually translational science. And once I interviewed, I had no other reason to go but to here.
I am originally from Kenya. I moved here to the United States for my undergraduate degree in the upstate New York. I interviewed at 10 schools and got accepted in 7 of those schools, and finally joined Mayo for my PhD.
So the first day in Mayo's PhD program was a little bit overwhelming and daunting to enter this prestigious institution. It was a little bit scary, but really just an honor to be able to be a part of this historical organization.
Ooh, I was like a bundle of nerves of excitement because this was like a completely new step in life. Like this is something that I wanted, based because I wanted a career as a scientist, and just knowing that this was like the next and almost nearly the final step to become like a doctor. I was just really excited to meet the people that I met during interview weekend, and actually be here and be at the Mayo Clinic. So it was a very exciting day. Anxious nerves, didn't know what to expect, but it was really great.
I remember looking at the environment, looking at the labs, looking at the faculty, and feeling that this is where I belong, and feeling the vibe of knowing that the science I can do here is actually going to be impactful. So just the general feeling environment, I felt that I was fitting in right away. So if I can go to, let's say, last week or yesterday, how do I feel? I know that this is something that is, to me, impactful, important, knowing that what I'm doing in the lab is actually directly translating to the clinic.
In terms of diversity at Mayo, Mayo really attracts talent from all over the world, so it's interesting to interact with people from different countries, different parts of the country, and it's really a great opportunity to interact with professionals from everywhere and every type of background.
I'm also part of IMSD, and that's a really open space and a safe space for people who are minorities. They've been open with long of issues that have been happening in the past few years. They open up the conversations and create a safe space for you. There's also the Diversity Council itself, where they're bringing students to bring voices to the table. My individual track has also been very open about that conversation. So they've been listening more, which I really appreciate.
When I started, I probably knew about 2 or 3 students who looked like me, but now I can count more than that. So that's more like observable to say that you have increased the number of students who are from African background. So overall, I have observed the graduate school make stepwise improvement, and this is usually also brought forth by the students who bring up the issues that they feel that need to be discussed, and the graduate school is very accommodating and responds to what needs to be addressed.
I think my favorite aspect to the program here is just the access that students have. Again, Mayo, there's experts in pretty much any field of medicine you can imagine.
My favorite aspect of the program, I guess, would be the people itself and the collaborations being built. Everyone's very helpful at opening with classes or with research, regardless of what it is. Everyone's just been so helpful and open to discussing ideas with you, forming collaborations, giving you what you need in the program.
I really like the fact that the environment is very collaborative. No one is trying to compete with the other. So especially in my department, I have seen that whenever I have an issue that I'm trying to figure out, a question, I can always walk to any of the faculty's office, talk to them about it, and get the help from the student, use the tools that they have, the equipment.
So Mayo Clinic Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences funding model is focused on the students first. We place the needs of the learner first, just like Mayo Clinic places the needs of the patient first.
So the funding model, the being like fully paid for 5 years, is really helpful and takes a lot of stress of searching a private investigator who has the money to support you. And it also lessens the time compared to other PhD programs. Other PhD programs are now going up to 8 years, depending on the funding. And Mayo Clinic has a good thing of funding you for 5 years, and you, at most, I think it's 5.25 years of you leaving. So it takes a lot of stress, and it also makes you a free agent of sorts that you can work with whichever PI you want to work with. You're not just limited to just one.
I think the opportunities that are afforded to learners after completing the program here at Mayo, specifically relating to the clinical and translational science track, is really just the broad-based skills that the program provides you, allowing you to apply those skills and excel really in a broad variety of focus areas after you complete the program.
I have a lot of opportunities, being able to shadow clinicians if you want, being able to work with multiple researchers who are in different fields to come together to form your project. On the academic portion, like for classes, there's a lot of support. We have an academic success center, so if you need help with time management and also how to figure out your schedule, that's also support that's being given, which is really great.
So the Mayo Clinic Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences history goes back over 100 years in partnership with the University of Minnesota. In the last 25 years, we have been independently accredited and generating our own wonderful alumni that continue to the world of addressing unmet patient needs. Mayo Clinic is also unique in that we have 3 campuses. Rochester, Minnesota is our first campus, Jacksonville, Florida is the second campus, and a third campus that's in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, where we have the primary hospital in Phoenix and the research campus in Scottsdale. This is still a one Mayo campus. Nothing is clearer than the COVID rules, where we ended up having to go virtually for all of our education. It was not a big transition for us. We had already been free campus for all of our education in the Mayo Clinic Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences.
I think regardless of the track that you're applying to, if you really want to see how your research is impacting the population, Mayo Clinic is where to be because it's translational across all tracks. You might be doing something that's very cell molecular and looking at a DNA thing, but the end goal is always the needs of the patient. And I think if that's really your goal as a scientist, as a researcher, then Mayo Clinic is where to choose.